learned from the lesson. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a little, but I still reinvest it. Feel how I feel, then you feel it's a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this one is bad, okay? I don't know where to start this, but let's imagine it's Friday, okay? Let me take you back to Friday. Imagine it's Friday, NASDAQ down 4%. You go from like 425 all the way down to like, I don't know, like 410, let's say. And let's say it's a super bad day. You're already hitting or coming near all-time lows, right? So imagine that. And then now imagine on Monday, I'm going to tell you that you're going to be excited to be at the same exact spot where we closed that Friday. Yeah, that's what's happening. But, ladies and gentlemen, today was absolutely insane. If you don't get what I just said, it was awful. We hit a brand new low today. We went as low as 405 on the dot, and then out of nowhere, you had this magical rally. Now, a lot of people were frustrated about this, and there is a lot of implications. That's what we're going to talk about, but when I'm saying this is bad, that's not the full extent of it. Again, this is coming into Powell this week. There is a lot on the table, but what else did we get this morning? Literally in Europe. Again, we talked about Europe crashing first, about Europe in energy, but this morning there was a literal flash crash in Europe. It was Stockholm. They saw an 8% drop in 5 minutes. Granted, it was because of City. There was like a math error, but I mean, sure enough, there's a flash crash, and it's in Europe for, anyways, but that happened, and then we hit these new lows on the market, and now this is what we're going to talk about here today. I want to talk about Powell. We're going to bring this up, but now why this is getting bad. Literally, the ghost of 2018, it is kind of reemerging. People are asking, wait a minute, growth is slowing down, Powell is being aggressive. Last time he did this is what the chart looked like. It was 2018, but now if we start breaking into a new low, last time that happened in 2018, after a couple of months, I mean, you really did flush out. So that's what people are getting worried about. The S&P, the NASDAQ, again, more new lows. You have hit your new low on the year. We did not close there, but we did hit that there definitely today. But there was that, and then inflation expectations, Powell. We're going to talk about that. And then there also was a EU emergency meeting. But pretty much, there was a bunch of stuff today. We have Powell. It is going to be important, and we actually got a couple of plays too. So, where we go from here, it is very pivotal. Again, the fact that we hit 405 today, I don't think we will go lower than that until Powell, so keep that in mind. But pretty much after Powell, we might have something crazy, and then I'll give you the rundown. But that's pretty much the rundown. We have a lot more, or something more important. I'm going to focus on it, but as far as even today, again, a lot of these things happen. Oil was in focus. If you didn't notice, oil went down, then came back up. That is because China got a little bit worse, but didn't have too big of an effect. You can see here, we gapped down a little bit, or pre-market, we sold off in the morning. We went a little lower, then we bounced up a little bit. We started to go up, and then it just started selling off, and then after European close, it got very bad right when we hit 405. We stayed at the lows like 409, 408, 407, 406. It lasted for a very long time, and then literally right when we flushed to 405, that bounce just set everything off, and there was earnings after hours. Travel, Expedia, MGM, they did very good, so we made a couple of plays we're going to go over. That was at least good, and then even NTR and fertilizer, and even Sal, he was on CNBC today, he was on Bloomberg last week. Again, if you didn't watch our interview with the wheat CEO, I would go check that out, but you're starting to hear about commodities and food. They had him up on TV today, and he was talking about fertilizer and all that, and then NTR, after hours, they raised their guidance by like 50% on the full year. It is absolutely insane. So we got a little bit of those effects, but today was super simple. Again, besides that rally at the close that made people like get really excited, it's like, yo, this is an earnings day. This is what we talked about for last week. It's just simple. We're going to kind of dance around a little bit till more earnings come out, but now especially Powell, and let's talk about it. Let me tell you what is really bad right now. This is going to be, in my humble opinion, the next thing if things were going to get bad, this is what people are going to be talking about next, and it is simply unanchored inflation expectations, and that relates to the ghost of 2018. But the thing is, or I probably should have said, and the thing I'm looking for next and where we go from here, a lot could ride on Powell, and it kind of fits into my thesis that I think after Wednesday, we may get a false bullish reaction where I think we may react positively and then sell off. But let me tell you what's going on. So 2018, this is where I'm referencing it back to. We're going to talk about unanchored inflation, so keep that in mind, but this is where I'm saying we may start seeing this start in 2018, and then inflation expectations make things worse. But this is the chart, and literally right when we started breaking new lows, that was when the taper tantrum, after kind of reacting to volatility, that's where it kind of capitulated and hit another level. This is why I'm worried, because a lot of other people are getting worried about this now, because if there's ever a tantrum playbook, it was back then in 2018. It's pretty recent. Other than that, we don't really have good guidance that isn't like 20 or 30 years old, or good experience. But that is what people are worried for. That is what I'm worried for after to this day. And I don't know, did I mention bonds got clapped today? Absolutely destroyed. And again, that's what people are worried about. But now let's factor this in here to unanchored inflation expectations. You've heard the Fed say this. They want to make sure that the public and everybody, that inflation and what people expect their currency is going to do, the prices of things, they want to make sure that is stable and that it doesn't get out of hand. But essentially now, this is what I'm thinking. If we start hitting a new low, and then depending on what Powell says, again, even after he announces the tapering, again, not the tapering, the balance sheet reduction, that is going to be coming on Wednesday, or is going to give more guidance. If that starts getting people feeling a certain way, or now we start hitting new lows, again, all of the things compounding right now, it is just not looking good. I mean, even I think it was like Peter Schiff, he was even saying you're losing more now than ever because of inflation. It's not like when you go and compare, the Dow or the NASDAQ down 20% or 15% in 1 month to like '08 or 2008. He's saying we got more inflation now. So it's like, it could even mean a lot more. But point is, we're going through a lot of stuff right now, and for the most part, you've been hearing priced in. You've been hearing people react, and I think at this point, after dropping 20%, if we keep going any lower, we start hitting new lows, and then depending on this earnings and then even the next earnings, it might start messing with what people are expecting. If this, and we start to see inflation expectations unanchored, what would that mean? You might start watching the prices go crazy. That would be another round of oil going up, another round of commodities taking off, whether it's now or 6 months from now. But again, imagine the things that are adding the pressure, consumer going down, the bad GDP. And this is what I'm saying, this is bad. There's just so many different things right now. But the real big risk here to the market is now, after this Fed, depending on what happens, and even then we get a follow-up Fed in June, is that the credibility could be very, very bad for the Fed. But now, if people's ideas of what is priced in or not, if that range is very, very wide and things get unanchored, I mean, especially after already dropping this much, people may start scrambling a little bit. So that's the big thing. Again, tie that to everything. Just so many bad things today. Again, in terms of the flash crash, the bonds, all of that. But we'll see where it goes. Powell may surprise. We still got earnings. We could still see what's going on there. Again, the Buffett effect. Warren Buffett, baby. He came in pretty big yesterday. We talked about that, so we'll see. But now, as far as the rest of the plays and how we're going to play it, let us get into the plays. I tell you why I like this shirt. I wore this. I don't know if y'all remember. This is only bro, I used to wear this shirt so much. Like, look at how, like, you see what bro, I don't think y'all feel me, bro. This was like OG, like an old video. Anyways, but as far as the plays, I only made a couple plays today. I did do a couple gambles on the SPY dailies. I may do that every day this week. Pretty much every other day when there's a daily SPY expiration for the oceans, I might spend like 20 to 50 bucks. I did go $80 here today. Thought it was worth it. I was up at one point. I didn't take profits, ended up getting clapped, but that was the first play. But then if you saw me this morning on stream, we went straight for travel stocks. I did an Airbnb B play, I went for the Mays instead of June, and my idea was MGM and Expedia, if they do good, I think there's going to be a premium effect. It looks like they might have that, but we will see how the market reacts tomorrow. But grab one of those. It was a little expensive near the money, as you could see, but like that one. And then I went for an Uber play. So both of these, I like them still. Again, I just like travel. Again, MGM they beat expectations. Expedia was like in line, missed on EPS, but they gave good guidance. Everybody is talking about summer travel demand. Again, Omicron at the end of the year. Remember, that's factoring into this quarter. Everyone's saying everybody looked over. Even Europe with the war, Expedia said that they are actually getting their most European bookings ever. So travel's hot. It all relies on expectations. We'll see how some of these travel names that did good, how they hold up tomorrow. But those are the first two. Again, here's the Uber play as well. Both of them were kind of big plays. I spent a decent amount. I spent $400 on this one. The May 20th, $35 calls. Grabbed 5 of them at like 80 cents there. So trying to keep it closer to the money, especially with this volatility. But primarily, my job or my goal is trying to get free premium off of the pre-earnings run-up and then kind of the sympathies. It's a very interesting week to try it with Powell and all of that, but we will see what happens. But those are the first two plays, and then for the final play, this is the one I'm looking at tomorrow. I'm gonna put NTR. We had old plays. Some of them got clapped. I think this one's going to go. I like the guidance. They even beat updated guidance. Again, the fertilizer, we heard from Sal today. I want to go back into corn and get one of those, but it's still kind of elevated. But pretty much, if we didn't wake up to bad China news, I thought this was going to be the week for some of the commodities and oil and all of that. But pretty much, the fertilizer talk, it's coming back. People are talking about the commodities again because why? It's been almost 3 months and the shit is still staying up there. Remember what we learned about the price signals? That is not good. So that's what we're dealing with. I think that one could be a good one. Some of the premiums are already clapped. Gonna watch that one tomorrow. And then finally, same thing I said yesterday, the banks. So the calls went down today on the banks. Puts are kind of expensive. We're going to have to see what happens with it, but I do like the play. Maybe if I can find it both ways. Again, banks and all this, it is good, but as of now, I mean, it's just the banks are getting hurt by the stagflation, or the fact is, and rates are good for the banks, but the economy starts slowing down. People are getting worried. There may be a breakout point, but honestly, it might be when bonds chill out. I don't think the banks will go up until the bonds stop. This is crazy tear, so we're going to see how that plays out, but those are the only plays I'm going to be watching. Again, we only made those other spy puts and all of that, and then it's really going to be coming down to slow and steady. If I could give you a good piece of advice for right now, again, there's going to be plays, there's going to be short term, but stop tripping out on what the market is doing today or tomorrow. And why do I say that is look at what's happened now over the last 5 months. Again, look at what's going on globally with other countries, other currencies, the bond yields, what we have to deal with. You know, this market is shown you can wait for the information and you're still not going to be late. Again, we're doing a lot of dancing and all that, but pretty much where we go here with Powell and all of that, it is so important, but just understand there is going to be opportunities and kind of stringing things together, and don't forget what we've already dealt with this year, all right? But I love you, Chad. That is your watch list. Make sure hydrate healthy, ready to go. Make sure post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. I need you to remember, baby, the ultimate dominion is control of yourselves, baby. Oh my gosh. But I love it. I hope you're ready. Get ready for Powell Day. It's game time. I love you, Chad. I'll see you on the stream, the Twitch, wherever. I miss this shirt, bro. Shout out to OG Chaz, bro. For real. They know. I love you, baby. God bless you.